He texted me like it was nothing. Hey, just so you know, I went onto your land and dumped all your water containers. Thought you should be aware. No apology. No hesitation. Just entitlement. What he didn't realize. That message would cost him everything. If you've ever dealt with someone who thought they could walk all over you without consequences, go ahead and hit that like button. And subscribe, because today's story? It's one of those slow burn revenge stories that ends exactly how you want it to. I own a piece of rural property. Not huge. Not fancy. Just quiet land about an hour away from where I live. To most people, it's nothing special. To me, it was everything. It was my escape from noise, from pressure, from life as a full-time student drowning in deadlines and finals. A place where I could breathe. I'd been slowly working on it, clearing brush, setting up tools, planting a small garden. And, because it's rural land, water isn't exactly accessible. So I did what anyone practical would do. I set up rainwater collection containers. Simple, cheap, effective. They were there to water plants. And more importantly, to act as backup in case a controlled burn ever got out of hand. Safety, preparation, responsibility. Each container even had mosquito dunks in them so they wouldn't become breeding grounds. Everything was done right, legally, thoughtfully. But apparently, that didn't matter to him. From the moment I bought the property, he had a problem. Didn't matter that it was legally mine. Didn't matter that I stayed out of his way. There's an easement running through part of my land. He uses it occasionally. And at the very end of that easement, there's a small cleared spot. My spot, where I kept some equipment. Chainsaws, gardening tools, protective gear. Nothing messy. Nothing dangerous. Just visible. And that's what bothered him. He didn't like that when he walked down his little path, he could see that I existed. That I had ownership. That I was building something. Every time he passed through, I could almost feel it, this silent resentment. Like my presence alone was an offense. At first, I thought, let it go. Focus on exams. But the more I tried to ignore it, the louder it got in my head. The disrespect. The trespassing. The entitlement. This wasn't about water anymore. This was about boundaries. And if I didn't establish them now, he'd keep going. People like him always do. They test, push, take, until someone finally pushes back. So I stopped thinking emotionally and started thinking strategically. Step 1, documentation. I saved the message. That text? It wasn't just an insult anymore. It was evidence. Clear admission of trespassing and property interference. Step 2, research. Turns out, what he did wasn't just annoying. It was illegal. Trespassing, property damage, interference with lawful use. And here's the beautiful part. Rainwater collection? Completely legal. So he had zero ground to stand on. I didn't go there screaming. I didn't confront him emotionally. That's what he would expect. Instead, I waited. Finished my exams. Let him think it was over. Let him relax into that false sense of victory. Then, I made my move. First, I sent a formal notice. Calm, professional, precise, outlining his admission of trespassing, the destruction of my property, the legal consequences if it happened again. No insults, no threats, just facts, and a clear message. I'm not the one you can push around. Next, I installed trail cameras across the property. Hidden, strategic, watching every angle. Now, every step he took, every time he crossed that line, would be recorded. Then came the final touch. Barriers. Legal. Visible. Unmistakable. Posts. Signs. Markers. Not aggressive, but undeniable. This wasn't just land anymore. It was a statement. And then, it happened. A few weeks later, I got another notification. Camera alert. There he was, walking down the easement like always. But this time, he stopped. He saw the signs, the markers, the cameras. You could literally see it on his face. That shift. That realization. He wasn't dealing with someone passive anymore. He stepped closer. looked straight at one of the cameras, and turned around. Didn't touch anything. Didn't cross the line. Just left. But the best part? He never texted me again. No more messages. No more interference. No more helpful destruction. Just silence. The kind of silence that only comes when someone finally understands. They messed with the wrong person. Some people don't respect boundaries until they're forced to. Not through anger. Not through shouting. But through consequences. And sometimes, the smartest revenge isn't loud. It's permanent. If this story hit you, if you've ever dealt with someone who crossed the line, drop a comment and tell me. What would you have done? And if you want more stories like this, the kind where karma actually shows up, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.